Take a moment, look at the disclaimer. This content is for educational, information, and entertainment purposes only, and nothing should be taken as a recommendation to buy, sell, hold any securities at any time. We're here just to tell you how BTA analyzes the markets, how we look at the markets, but nothing should be taken as a recommendation. This is Rod from BTA, and we are known as the Middle Traders. We are looking at Amazon, a daily chart of Amazon. It's one of the members of our FAANGMT, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, Microsoft, and Tesla. And I just don't see how in the world the major market indexes, the overall market, is going to go into any rally back to all-time highs or the high of the inverted yield curve if these large mega cap stocks that's representing almost 30% of the Standard & Poor and almost 50% of the NASDAQ 100, if they don't go up, how in the world is those indexes, how in the world are those indexes going to go up? Well, this is the daily chart of Apple. And I think you get the picture now on how we're going to analyze these things. Look at the 5-day moving average here. The 9-day moving average is green. And the yellow moving average is the 21-day moving average. Well, we're above all of that. That's great. Okay, so let's see if that can hold support. If we can stay above that, okay, that will be great. All right, let's maximize this. Let's zoom in on this a little bit. Make sure you can see it. If we can stay above those key moving averages, that would be great. Okay. But the problem here is that we have this overhead resistance and this downward trending 50-day moving average. This downward trending 50-day moving average. Well, the 150-day moving average is up here, but it's also down, but it's pretty high, pretty far away from Amazon. And the 200-day moving average is pretty far overhead. So we don't have to worry about those right now. The key thing is this downward trending 50-day moving average in this gap area, okay, where we gap down over here. All right, we gap from here to here, okay? We got to try to get above this downward trending 50-day moving average, break above that, and just try to fill this gap. In other words, prices to make it through this gap and get above where it gapped down at, all right? Now, y'all might be I think it's worth mentioning the fact that you might notice that Amazon right now is worth $122. It's selling at, not worth, okay? It's selling at $122.47. Well, on Friday, Amazon was around $2,440 something dollars. I think it was $2,447 on the close on Friday. Okay. Well, today is at $122. That's because it had a 20-for-1 stock split. So you got to divide this by 20 to 1 stock split. All right. So and that lowered the price of Amazon. They did a very excessive stock split, 20 to 1. What that made it a lot more affordable for us to purchase it, right? At $2,447 a share, that is very expensive. $122 is still a little expensive, but it's a lot more affordable now. So it gives us all a chance to participate in Amazon a lot more. Okay, so could be a good thing. But you know what William O'Neill said about excessive stock splits? That's a sign of trouble ahead. All right, when you start getting excessive. 20 to 1 is a pretty large stock split. All right, well, right now, the major thing with our moving average chart is that we could try to get above this downward trending 50-day moving average. Okay, if we start trading up to that and find resistance, get rejected in the gap area here, well, that could be a problem. And we see that Amazon has made somewhat higher lows. Okay, so is it trying to base and set up and base and move a little higher? Well, time will tell. But if the market is to gain any traction, like I told you, these large mega cap stocks are going to have to start firming up and going to have to start making some moves. All right, so let's look at the structural chart of Amazon. All right, let's look at the structural chart of Amazon. And as you can see on this daily chart, okay, on this daily chart, all right, we had that same double bottom. Here was the pivot point. We broke above that, okay? All right, we broke above that. Here is the downward trending internal trend lines that we need to get above, all right? So we need to just see Apple move above these downward trending trend lines, get above this here gap area, get above that 50-day moving average, and then Amazon could be looking a lot better, okay? But the first hurdle is these internal trend lines and that 50-day moving average, on the daily chart, okay? That 50-day moving average is our next main hurdle with the gap area, okay? Well, let's look at the relative strength index, all right? And let's put this here, a horizontal line right on 50, okay? Let's put it right on 50. And let's see what the relative strength index looks like compared to its 50-yard line. Well, as you can see, we are above it. So that's good. Can we stay above it? You see, that's telling us that, the buyers is on the right side of the 50-yard line. So the buyers are pretty much trying to be in control of it a little bit, okay? So let's hope it finds support and then get back above the 60 level, okay? That's a key level, the 60 level. And then that would tell us that if it get above 60, that's telling us that the buyers are firmly in control of the momentum. Well, the check in money flow, the money flow is kind of flat, fluctuating above and below a zero line. You see it's changing from red to green. That's not good. That's not good, okay? Especially when it was red for a long time here as it was selling off. And it was telling us money is coming out. But right now, it's a little indecisive. That's not really what we want to see. We want to start seeing more green lines consistently. That's telling us that money is coming into Amazon. All right. Now, let's go now and look at that ADX real quick and see what that ADX is showing us. Right. Let me see if I could make sure I zoom out of that so we could zoom in to the ADX. Right. And this is interesting. Okay, the ADX is interesting. All right, the ADX is showing us something that's a little interesting. Okay, now let's zoom in. Let's zoom in on the price action a little bit. All right, what we really want to do, I'm not really concerned about the price action up top because we looked at that twice already. What I want to look at is the ADX lines. Okay, we see the green has crossed above the red right here in this area. That's telling us that the buyers are trying to take control. Okay, and the green line is above 25. So that's good. That's telling us the buyers are trying to take control. So the green line is above the red. So the buyers are taking control from the sellers. But the yellow line is trending down. It's still at 30. Okay, it's trending down though. It's at 30, but it's trending down. We need to see this yellow line, which tells us if we have a trend. We need to see that turn up. Okay, if prices can stay elevated here a little bit and can start moving above that 50-day, get above those horizontal fractal levels and the gap area. If all that can happen, right? But if that would be great. But if this yellow line can start to turn up while that's happening, that's telling us that the trend is starting to take place. When that yellow line is moving up and it's above 25, it's telling us that we have a trend in place. So if the green can stay above the red, that's telling us the buyers are in control. And if the yellow can start moving up, that's telling us we got a trend. And if prices are moving up because the buyers are in control, that means that the buyers are in control and we have an uptrend. That's what we want to see. Okay, that's what we want to see. So we're going to keep an eye on the ADX for all of the, if you notice, for Facebook, Apple, and now Amazon. That ADX line is telling us a lot. And if you go back at some of the other videos we did, it's also telling us a lot for the Qs, the SPY, the DIA, okay, the IWM. The ADX is painting a really good picture. Now, granted, we got to look at this on balance volume line very carefully. Okay, the on balance volume line is surging. Okay, that's because when when the stock split was announced, I don't know why people do that, because they're not getting any more. It's almost like taking a dollar and say, listen, you got a dollar bill? Well, give me a dollar bill, I'll give you 4 quarters. All right, you got more coins in your hand, but it's still only worth a dollar. So when Amazon was worth $2,400, right, $2,400, okay, if I tell you, well, listen, for your one share Amazon of $2,400, I'm going to divide it by 20, and I'm going to give you 20 little shares at $122. You still got the same amount of money. It's like the 4 coins for the dollar, okay? But when people hear about a stock split, they think in their mind for some reason that they're getting something that they're not, and they start buying the shares ahead of the stock split. Well, look, the volume is surged, okay? So this, we have to wait and see if this is really the facts, because it was a lot of buying before the stock split, and, you know, I don't know why they do it, like I said, but for some reason, every time a stock split is announced, they start buying that particular stock. Okay, now let's look at the weekly chart and finish up there. Okay, let's look at the weekly chart. Well, this is our SW chart, and as you can see, Amazon is right below the yellow 21-week moving average. Okay, the 21-week moving average right here. All right, so it's right below the 21-week moving average, and it's finding a little resistance at this 123.38, which is a red horizontal resistance area, and then we got the 133.57, which is another red horizontal resistance area. But what we want to look at on this chart very carefully is that if you notice, this line of the relative strength line telling us whether or not Amazon is outperforming the Standard & Poor's is negative. Well, it's underperforming the Standard & Poor's is negative 16.43%. It's underperforming the Standard & Poor's by 16% right now. All right, so it's an underperformer. Okay, so we want to see the price bars get above this 21-week moving average and eventually get above the 30-week exponential and the 30-week simple moving averages right here. But for right now, we just need to get above this 21-week exponential moving average and get above this overhead resistance. As that happening, we want to see volume coming in. These volume bars getting above the average line. This is the average line of volume. And while that's happening, we want this here relative strength line to get above 0 to tell us that the Amazon is outperforming the Standard & Poor's. And of course, we want our on-balance volume line to start moving up. Okay, that's showing us that volume is clearly coming into Amazon. So that's what we're looking for on this chart. And we're going to be monitoring this every day, every week. That's what we do. Okay, so now here is our moving averages on the weekly chart. Here's our moving averages. Let's expand real quickly. And as you can see, we're below right here. Let me zoom out so you can see this very clearly. I'm sorry. Let me zoom out. Now this is troubling. I'm a hit on this here, and I'm gonna hit input so you can see that is 200. That is the 200-week moving average. Amazon is below its 200-week moving average. You know how strong that moving average is? Look here. I don't even know if I could bring enough data on the chart to show when the last time it broke below its 200-week moving average. Okay, right now I'm back to 2018. I would have to load up more data and see how far back it goes. But all the way back to 2018, we have not broken below that 200-week moving average. Okay, the 200-week moving average, it doesn't break that often. I'm telling you. You can look for yourself. It don't happen too often. Okay, well, we're below the 200-week moving average. And listen, you don't even hear me speaking about that too often because it don't come into play too often. Here's the 200-week moving average. We're below it. We're below the 8-week moving average. We just got above the 4-week. That's good. But look at this 13-week moving average trending right down. Hey, at the end of the day, we got to keep eye, as far as this chart is concerned, at this 200-week moving average. We got to get above that. Okay, 200-week moving average is the hurdle for Amazon on the weekly chart. 200-week moving average is the first hurdle for Amazon on the weekly chart. And then again, once again on the structural chart, you see that horizontal resistance level at 123, around here, 123. We got to get above that. And we got this downward trending trend line here we need to get above, okay, as overhead resistance for Amazon, right? So, like I said, if the market, if the rally is to get any legs, you're going to see these large mega cap stocks moving with it, all right? And now, let's just jump back down to the daily chart, and let's look at the chart of Lois and see what Lois is telling us, okay? Well, right now, Lois is telling us that, the line of Lois is holding as support. Can it hold? We'll see. All right. Let's see if it can hold for right now. Okay. Well, the price is above the 21-day moving average, and it's sitting right on the blue line of Lois. All right. We need to see this price start moving up, and Lois starting to move up with it. Okay. Right now, Lois is starting to flatten out and move and curve downward a little bit. See it flattening out and curve downward a little bit. Here's that 21-day moving average that we below, that we above. Okay. So we need to hold the center area, the middle point of the double bottom. That's where this horizontal resistance level is, and we need to stay above Lois on this chart. Eventually, Lois needs to turn up, okay, and we break above this downward trend line. So that's the deal with Amazon, okay. Amazon is a lot more affordable for us now, right? It's down to $120 something a share. There's a lot of options available on Amazon. Okay, so hopefully if Amazon could get on a good foot, all right, we could participate. If it start breaking out and doing well, we could participate here at BTA and take advantage of some of this, take advantage of the upward move. But I don't see how the overall market is going to move up if these large mega cap stocks don't. Okay, so that's it for Amazon. The next up, we did Facebook, we did Apple, we did Amazon. The next we're going to do Netflix, and then we'll move on to the other three. All right, so until the next video.